Hey everybody, welcome back to Awesome Finds. Now, this is kind of more of a bittersweet episode for me because I got to shop at my childhood record store one last time. Logos in Santa Cruz, California has closed, and it wasn't for anything bad necessarily. It was because the owner just wanted to retire. And since he owned the building, there were months, actually years in fact, where he didn't take a paycheck because he wanted to keep the business going, especially in the mid-2000s. And while he did try to sell the business or have someone else take it over, the truth of the matter is trying to keep a store like that, books and music, open of that size is really hard with that kind of rent. You almost have to be half that size to make it sustainable. So for him, yeah, the most logical thing was just to close it. But before he did, he had a blowout sale and I was able to go. And this was in July of 2017. Granted, I think I kind of overspent. I think I paid around $75 for these records, and I think part of that was nostalgia. This was the last time I was going to be there. I did take some video footage of the place so that you guys can kind of see what it was like at this shop. There was two different entrances. The first entrance, you walked in from the main street, but the way I like to go was the back entrance, and that's where you walked in, and there was this wall of surf music because it was Santa Cruz, and that's where all like the new and used music was, CDs, cassettes, some VHS, but a lot of records. And then there was even a downstairs, and that was all used books, but really cool. They had this skylight up above. It was just a fun place to shop. Oh yeah, and I should probably mention too, at this time, all the records, all the music, and I think all the books were 20% off, and certain releases were 50% off. So most of this stuff I paid less than what the price sticker says. So anyway, guys, enough of that. I want to show you what I picked up. First up are two records by the band called The Call. And what's special about these is The Call is a Santa Cruz band, and I thought, oh, how appropriate. What's interesting though is Michael Ben, he is the frontman for this. His son is actually the frontman for Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and for many, many years, Michael was their on-tour sound engineer before he passed away from, I believe, a heart attack. This is, I believe, their self-titled debut from 1982, and it's good. I think for at the time, it was pretty interesting. Listening to it now, it's okay, I guess. This is signed by Linda and Tom Fiere. Linda is or was his wife, at least at this time. And this was like the copies that the band got, and they handed them out to their friends. I think that's pretty cool. Here is the vinyl itself real quick. And there is side 2. And so the second record I got was Seen Beyond Dreams. And this is much more, I would call new wave rock. I much prefer this album over their first one. And this is from, I think, 1984. But what's funny is on the back, you get another message from Linda and Tom. And I feel like they just took an eraser and just started erasing the ink to be able to write on there like that. And this also comes in a lyric sheet, another shot of the band. Side 1 and side 2, and then again you see that, how they put the price sticker right there. So up next we have Rabbit on MCA Records from 1981. Now I had never heard of this band, and that's probably because they didn't really get too far away from their home country of Canada. And on a whim I picked this up because it just looked like, I don't know, kind of 80s hair bandish, maybe Journey-esque, and the music, wow, it is it is not far off from that. Honestly, it feels like the bridge between bands like Journey and Styx and Kansas and 80s hair metal, glam metal kind of stuff. It's sort of like they fit in between, they sort of bridge the gap of those two styles. And at first I didn't really like it, but then on second pass, I actually quite enjoyed this record. What's interesting though is this logo right here was drawn by Chuck Jones, a famous animator. Here is side 1. I like how they have their kind of simplified logo right there. It says Rabbit. And there's side 2. So yeah, I say if you're into that kind of sound of Journey and Styx, you'll probably enjoy this record. So up next we have the Stylistics with You Are Beautiful from 1975 on Avco Records. Now I picked this up because I thought the Stylistics were featured in Jackie Brown. Well, I kind of don't think they are now. I just checked the soundtrack and they're not listed on there. They might be in the film, but not on the soundtrack. You know how that sometimes happens. But anyway, I picked it up. I paid way too much for it. 20% off of $6.50. You guys can do the math. And I really don't like it. I'm not a fan of this lead singer. He's got kind of a Frankie Valli sort of like voice, and it's just, it's cheesy, but not in a good way. There's like maybe one or two songs that I like, but for the most part, I really don't enjoy it. At first I thought this was a gatefold, but no, it's just the glue has come apart. So really not in the best shape, especially for the price. The record does come in a Avco sleeve, which is kind of cool. And there you have, again, another price sticker from Logos. And here is the record itself. Thankfully they didn't put a sticker on this. And here is side 2. So yeah, I can't really recommend this. It just, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. I think there's better bands out there. Up next, we have Annette Funicello's Hawaiianette. And this is Sings the Songs of Hawaii, includes Pineapple Princess. And this was like, I want to say 50 cents. How much was this? Let me, it was in like the dollar bin. Yeah, it was $1, but it was half off of $1, so it ended up being 50 cents. Turns out this is a very good record and it's highly sought after. It goes for a pretty penny, so I feel like I did a pretty good job, despite the fact that the cover itself is very beat up, as you can tell. Here is the back there. Oh my gosh, I love these photos of Annette. And all these songs are great. She sings great. This is on Buena Vista Records, and it's a Walt Disney production. It also included a insert of Annette, so you can pick out 3 records for $1 and they'll send them to you, which is pretty cool. I would imagine this is probably like 60, 61, that era. Here is side 1, and it actually plays pretty good. There is some scuffing here and there, but it came across all right. Like, this is definitely a record I would upgrade. I'd find another copy of it. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, Hawaiianette. I really suggest it if you're into Hawaiian music, bachelor pad music, exotica music like I'm into. It's not as kitschy or as silly as it might look. It's actually pretty good music. I highly suggest you guys check it out. Up next, we have Wasp with their 1985 release of The Last Command on Capitol Records. Oh, I really enjoyed this record. It was everything I hoped it would be. I mean, look at this guy. He's freaking crazy. Now, despite rumors, Wasp never actually stood for anything. They just did that to stand out, I guess, make people speculate. And I like that idea. Look at the back there. Just, you know, classic mid-80s hair metal, glam metal kind of sound. It's not like the best, but it's also not the worst. It's just fun music. And right here it says lyrics may be considered offensive by some audiences. I like this sticker that predates the whole parental advisory sticker. Now let me show you the inner sleeve. An awesome painting of them decapitated. Unfortunately, Logos had to put their sticker right there. And on this side, you get lyrics. And let's show you the record itself. You get some nice custom labels right there. Side 1. And there is side 2. I like that saw blade with the lightning bolt. Oh man. If you're into this style of music, you won't be disappointed with this record. I highly recommend you guys pick it up. Up next, we have Simple Minds with their 5th album titled New Gold Dream 81, 82, 83, 84. And this, oddly enough, is from 1982 on A&M Records. So Simple Minds, we all know them from The Breakfast Club with their big hit, Don't You Forget About Me, right? But what people kind of forget, or at least I think the masses sort of overlook them as a one-hit wonder, but man, they make phenomenal albums leading up to that single. And this is one of those ones. There's a lot going on here. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. Here is the back. It actually comes in this almost metallic lyric sleeve, which I like, kind of a coppery bronze look. And here is side 1. Yeah, stupid label on there. And side 2. What's kind of funny though is I had bought this record And then several months later, I picked up a bunch of records in a Craigslist, and I actually picked up a second copy in that Craigslist ad. So now I have 2 copies, but I'll probably do an A/B comparison, figure out which one I want to keep. I might just hang on to the Logos one because of the nostalgia I have for it, but we'll see. Either way, guys, I highly recommend you check this album out. So up next, we have Sheila E's debut album, The Glamorous Life, from 1984 on Warner Brothers Records. Right off the bat, if you love Prince, you got to pick up some Sheila E. It's more of that sound, more of that kind of that Minneapolis, Morris Day and the Time, Prince sound, you know what I mean? And this is no exception. Really, really enjoyed it. In fact, Prince writes several of these songs, not all of them, but many of them. And I have to assume that he had his hand in it, even though he's not credited on here. Let's show you the record real quick. Here is side 1. And there is side 2. So yeah, just excited to have another Prince-related record in my collection, and really cool stuff. I highly recommend you check it out for yourself. Up next, I have the second album by the Association titled Renaissance on Valiant Records from 1966. Now, I have a soft spot for the Association. They have that big hit called Along Came Mary. They're sort of in that 60s pop realm, but they're really, really good. I think both albums are great. I have their first album, and this one is no different. On the back there, you get more shots of the guys. Very typical for this era of music. I'll show you guys the record itself. It came in this funny polyline paper sleeve, realistic. You can see the price sticker right there. And here is side 1, and there is side 2. Actually is in fairly good condition. I was happy with that. I mean, I did pay, you know, $7.50, whatever 20% off of $7.50 was. So I think it was a good buy. I'm happy to have it. I wish it was a little bit better cover condition, but you know what? It's one of those ones that I'll eventually upgrade. So anyway, guys, if you're into that 60s pop sound and you don't already own the Association or haven't heard of them, highly suggest checking them out. Okay, so the last 3 records here are all new releases, I would say. And this one was actually a brand new record. This is Music Go Music with their debut album of Expressions. This is from 2009 on Secretly Canadian. What I love about this is the gold foil that's on the stars and the sun here. Maybe it's a moon. I love the legs here. It reminds me of the late 70s, early 80s. I remember there was this one brand of colored tights like this. On the back there, you get more of that star field. Oh yeah, there is an insert. It's just some lyrics. And let's take a look at the record itself. I put it in this sleeve. I think it was just a plain paper sleeve before that. Kind of hard to see the labels, actually. There is side A and side B. They have one other album. I don't know what they're up to now. I don't think they broke up, but either way, if you're into ABBA or ELO, you're really gonna like this band. So I highly recommend you guys check it out. So up next, we have Elvis Costello and the Imposters with their 2008 album, Momofuku. I have a mediocre love for Elvis Costello. I really like a lot of the stuff that he did. He fascinates me as an artist, but I don't absolutely love everything that he does. Some stuff, it's not always my favorite cup of tea. And this falls in that case. It's a cool listen. I was curious to know what Elvis Costello was doing, I don't know, I guess 10 years ago now. And it's okay. Nothing really stood out, jumped out at me. It's kind of what you expect from an artist who had their heyday in the 80s and early 90s and now is still recording. Like it's not bad music at all, but it's just, I don't know, it doesn't have any of that oomph of his early work. What is interesting on here though is that Jenny Lewis of Rilo Kiley does a lot of vocals on here, I think mostly backup vocals. Now this one wasn't in the best condition, but it was one of the few reasonably priced newish records. I will say that this is terrible. It's so flimsy, this cover. It shouldn't even be the record cover itself. This should be like inner sleeve material, not outer cover material. This is on Lost Highway Records. The title refers to Momofuku Ando, who invented the ramen instant noodle packs, and they named it after him because Apparently this record came together really quickly. I'm not really sure, or maybe they ate a lot of ramen while making this. I don't really know, but it's a double LP release. Let me show you the records. Here is side 1 and side 2. These were actually, this was in really great condition, the records themselves. I was happy about that, even though the outside doesn't look that nice. Let me show you the second record here. And side 3 and side 4. So yeah, I was happy to pick this up. However, if it wasn't on sale, I definitely would pass this up. It's not like a instant recommend like some of his more classic albums. This is just, if you're a fan of his work and you really like what he does and you want to get more of his stuff, I say pick it up. It's not a bad album by any means, but it's not a must own, if you know what I mean. Last up, we have Morrissey with Years of Refusal on Lost Highway Records from 2009. Now I picked this up because I was like, oh, I want to know what Morrissey's been up to. And then once I bought it, I turned it over and went, oh, 2009. This is almost 10 years old now. I do like how it's blue on the inside. That's a nice touch. And here is an inner sleeve, some fruit and wine, maybe iced tea. And there's a shot of the band, which I like. He gives some credit to the guys here. This is side 1 and there is side 2. I will say that for this, it was really good. It was consistent. I think now looking back, like it's late 2000s rock. Like it does sound really good. I do recommend this record. Even if you're not like a complete fan of Morrissey, it's good music. He's got great songwriting. I like his voice on here. Yeah, I recommend this record. Absolutely, check it out. Well, everybody, that will do it for this time around. I want to thank you so much for watching, and be sure to leave me a comment down below and let me know which of these are your favorites. Until then, I'm your Vinyl Geek, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Hey guys, thanks again for checking out this episode of Awesome Finds. Now, if you're looking for more collecting action, I put a playlist right there, as well as a video that YouTube will choose for me, so go ahead and click away.